Hey everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Eve here, and welcome to another episode of the New Bike Build Series. And if you don't know, this is where we take a 2018 BMW S1000RR that I purchased from my good friends at Sills BMW. We add some amazing custom parts to it, supplied to us by our fantastic channel sponsors, and then we offer it to you folks viewing this video at the end of the build series. Today, we're going to be doing something very special, something I've never seen before. Zack is going to remove the motor from the S1000RR so that he can install racing cams supplied to us by Brentuning into the bike.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey, Zack!
So, since we found someone that's able to tune the motorcycle, we're using what?
Ryan Schnitt, yep.
Yeah. So, Power Commander helped us out again. So, we're going to go the Power Commander route and get it on a dyno. We are able to install the racing cams. We weren't sure we were going to be able to because we didn't have too many tuning options going on. It still seems to be a little bit of a problem with the 2018 model and 17, having it tuned or ECU flashing. So, now that we have that, we'll go ahead and put the cams in, and these cams do require stiffer valve springs.
Okay.
So to change valve springs, we need to compress them, and I couldn't find a good tool to get the valve springs, going to be right about here, to get inside this frame. So just because it's not that much more work than what we're doing, we're just going to go ahead and take the engine out, take the valve cover off. It'll make it easier for everyone to see what's going on, and then we can change the valve springs, install the camshafts, time them, put it back in. And then I think we'll show changing the hoses, and then some other parts will just magically appear on here. And we'll have another great bike. And
nice.
And we'll see what kind of power we'll get out of it.
Heck yeah. I'm expecting big power gains with those racing cams.
Yeah. Yeah, between that and the exhaust and then a tune.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get up to maybe 200.
Well, that would be outstanding for a road bike.
We're always 1 horsepower short.
Yeah.
But, all right, well, let's get going here then. Just got to start with stuff you've seen before. We'll probably just take this off real fast. Gas tank, airbox cover, seat, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So this whole mass right here, this is the airbox. This is a second set of fuel injectors that kick in after 8,000 RPM, I believe. Okay. There's another set of fuel injectors down low. So we need to disconnect all this, get all this out of the way, and then that'll expose our throttle bodies, our drive-by-wire throttle bodies. And then we have to take them off. Get rid of some more sensor connections, take the clutch cable off, and get the radiator out of the way.
Some people think, Zach, that once you remove an engine from a motorcycle that the bike is never the same again. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I have heard that, and I kind of used to come even from that same train of thought until I've did it a couple times. And as long as you follow the factory instructions and the factory torque specs that are used, and you do everything in the correct order, you can't even tell. You can't.
Right.
Because I've ridden the bikes before and then ridden them after, and I can't tell. Okay. I think if there's plenty of things that you can do wrong, and then yes, it would make the bike handle differently or feel differently to you. But as long as the correct order of steps is followed, you won't even be able to tell.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I think the viewers will feel confident knowing that you actually did this, and my stinking hands aren't involved in this. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can always feel better if you know who's doing it. If the person has a good reputation, or the shop, even a job like that. Usually, I would say most shops wouldn't even have a problem with you talking to the technician that's going to do it. Okay. So you can feel comfortable with what is about to happen to your motorcycle.
Sure. Or in this case, just going back and watching the YouTube videos of the tech working on bikes.
Yeah. And it's important to be detail oriented. You know, that's what the biggest deal is, to get. I always try to get every hose back, every zip tie back, like where it was, and then it's just like it came from the factory, except we took it out, changed a couple things, you know. Sure.
And you were saying that these bikes are assembled pretty well from the factory, huh?
Yeah, I can't say I've ever made not even once really. There's like one bolt on the cylinder head that sometimes loosens up, but besides that, there's like no assembly issue that's ever came up warranty-wise.
Nice. All right, so we're chugging right along here.
Yep. This part here is a little so inside this airbox, I don't know if we'll be able to see it, probably not, is the runners that sit on top of the throttle bodies. And on this bike, they actually move up and down at a different RPM to help with power. They stay shorter to leave some torque, and then once you get to a higher RPM, they raise up so you get longer quicker intake charge.
Okay.
And this motor right here is what controls that. So we have to lift it up so we can unplug it. But we'll get the air filter out of the way. And I think we finally got something to replace this with.
Yeah, P90.
So
Sprint?
Yeah. We'll put that in when we reassemble.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you get the the camera down in there?
Yeah. Yep, it's in there.
Get some light. And then these are the runners that move up and down.
Okay.
I can move them just a little bit.
Yep. Sweet.
There's the inside of the airbox. Now we're down to our E-drive throttle body. This is a little motor that when you twist the throttle actually opens the throttle plates or closes them if you ask for too much throttle.
Is that the ride-by-wire
Yeah,
stuff I hear so much about?
ride-by-wire, yep.
Okay.
You see they're made by Del Orto. Used to make real nice racing carburetors
Wow.
back in the day. Still probably do. And they're on, used to be the kind of carb that would be like on a Ferrari or something like that.
Wow.
Made in Italy still. Now we will disconnect the other set of fuel injectors, and then we'll be able to remove the throttle bodies.
Okay. So was this necessary, do you think, to install the racing cams?
Like I said, they recommended a valve spring tool that might fit in there that you can change the valve springs with.
Uh-huh.
But first, you'll see once you see what we're dealing with, because you have to compress a spring. We're going to fill the cylinder up with air, compress a spring, and then get these two little keepers out, they're called.
Yeah.
And they're real easy to go flying all over the place. So
Yeah.
I just feel better doing it out of the frame.
Nice.
That way we don't have to go fishing inside the engine for a little metal keeper.
Okay.
So yeah, it is necessary. If we can pull it off without removing the head, that'll even be nice. I mean, that saves head gasket in that step.
Yeah.
So got those pesky clamps released finally.
All four of them?
All four of them.
Mm-hmm.
And unplugged the throttle plate position sensor. And I believe we can get all this off as one assembly now. Oh, we got one more clip it looks like holding the fuel line. Right here. Can you just see that gray connector right there? It's just caught on a wire. Right there. All right.
Oh, okay. So what is all that?
Got a good look at the intake system in there now. And this motor turns this, which is what makes those move up and down. This is the actual throttle bodies.
Oh.
You can see the fuel injectors
Yep.
sticking out right here. That's where fuel's sprayed in a really fine mist under pressure.
Okay.
And then, can we see the second set of injectors are hiding, but this is the top of them, where it sprays even more fuel from higher, and it just helps it atomize and make more power. So what we're gonna do is, these things always drive me nuts. We just go ahead and set them so they're preloaded, and then we got to put a piece of tape. If you look down here, what you're looking at right now is actually the intake valve. You can see there's no carbon or anything on there.
Yes.
Been running nice and clean.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to the rev limit, huh?
Good fuel.
Good fuel, yeah.
No fuel deposits. So then what we'll do is just take a piece of duct tape and cover over that because we don't want anything to fall in. Alright, cover it up. Nothing can fall. I just want to remember what it looked like that it was next to the cylinder head there, so sometimes I'll even just take my phone out and take a quick picture. That way I got a reference
Nice.
of what everything looked like. Because as good as the service books are, they don't have pictures of everything.
So the hose has to go, huh?
Yeah, I'm sick of dealing with this hose.
Yeah.
It's just a crankcase breather hose. It could probably stay, but it's just flopping around, driving me nuts.
Right.
So for one screw, we're gonna pull it. They added this foam piece on, I think, just 17 and 18 is the only time I'd seen it. Otherwise, it usually looked like that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a restriction or if it actually improves airflow. I don't know. We might have to look into that.
Yeah.
Easy enough to pull out of there.
Sure.
Maybe we'll ask Bren. Maybe they've messed around with
Okay.
removing this or installing it. But yeah, it's definitely. I don't remember if it's on a 15 or 16, but I know it's not on the 12 and 14s.
So now she's up in the air.
Up in the air. Gotta take a couple zip ties off we installed last time to keep the hoses out of the way while it was on the dyno.
Okay.
And I think we'll drain the coolant, and while the coolant's draining, finish unplugging all the wires that are on the radiator so we're ready to remove that.
Okay.
Let's do this wire while we're up here. This is the wire from the alternator back to the regulator rectifier. I think we gotta get the chain cover out of the way. Get that unplugged, and to do that, we gotta take the shifter off. That's alright, we gotta take it off. Not too bad.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Much quicker.
Yep.
Got clip.
Yep. And then there's another one, sir. There's one more. That's new, Zach?
Yeah. It used to be there, but it was sitting the other way. It was sitting up higher.
Okay.
Alright, so we got the radiator out of the way, removed the air cowling, which also has the charcoal canister on it. This is where the fumes from the tank venting go to, and then they get filtered through a charcoal material and then get sent back into the intake track.
Okay.
So that gave us access to get the secondary air tube off and the coil packs off.
Okay.
So we pulled them off, and now we're ready to drop the exhaust. I'm just going to show how, with the spring tool, you can just pull these springs.
With a little force,
Yeah,
huh?
with a little force. Some are easier to get from the other side, so we'll have to switch sides here in a second.
Okay.
Get these two. Switch sides.
All right.
There's our favorite compressor.
Right.
And then we'll do this one bolt in the back here.
There we go.
And
Exhaust is off.
the exhaust is up. So it has us start on the right side here.
Okay.
Removing the head bolts and the washer and tapered element that's behind it.
Okay.
So we pop out both these. And then it has us go to the back and pull these two out on this side.
Okay.
So then we can go over to the other side. Perfect. All right, go ahead, lower it down. So it looks like we gotta pop the oil cooler off because I forgot that's where it mounts on the engine stand.
Okay.
I thought it mounted on the back side for some reason, but it doesn't. It mounts on the front.
Okay.
So we're gonna lift it off the table and lay it on its back on a tire and take the oil cooler off and then put it on the engine stand.
Okay.
Let's go. Alright. That should make it so we can get the oil cooler off.
Probably a lot lighter than usual, huh, Zach?
Yeah. Feels like the HP4 race.
Wow.
Actually, it still feels a little heavier.
Jeez.
We gotta go in a little more, Justin. There we go. Alright. Now we can turn it up.
So now how's it look, Zach?
Much better. Seated on the engine stand. Got a nice secure spot to work on. Another zip tie.
Another one, yeah.
And here we can pull the valve cover off real quick and show the stock camshaft.
Oh, sure, man. Hell yeah.
Just give it a little tap because it's probably seated on there nice and tight. Lift it up, and then there's our stock camshafts and cam gears and cam chain. So this is what we're going to be replacing right here.
Nice.
So we needed access to the springs that are down in there.
Yep.
We have to change these springs first. So next video we'll probably start off with removing these camshafts, and then we'll change the valve springs, get the new camshafts in and get them timed correctly, and then back in the frame.
Awesome, Zach, man.
That's
well, thanks.
the plan, all right?
Yeah, thanks for everything you did today, man.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Awesome, man. We'll catch you next time,
All
then,
right, we'll
Zach.
catch you next time.
Yep. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the New Bike Build series. Zach has removed the motor from your 2018 S1000RR, and next up, we are going to install the racing cams into that shell of a motorcycle, and then he will reinstall the motor into the bike. You can still support the New Bike Build series. Info on that is on the Patreon page. That damn compressor! Every time! All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more. And as always, thanks for viewing. We'll catch you next time from Sills BMW in the New Bike Build series.